Before we dive into what Gaza is today and whether it can be considered a state or not, we need to go back a bit, just a bit. Palestine didn't suddenly wake up one morning to find itself under occupation. The story goes back to the 19th century when European colonial ambitions began targeting the Middle East, and particularly the Levant. In 1948, the State of Israel was declared, right in the heart of Palestine, driving out hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their towns and villages. Many of them fled to Gaza, turning this coastal strip into one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Now fast forward to today, what we call the State of Palestine is mainly made up of two parts, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The West Bank is under partial control of the Palestinian Authority, but Israel still dominates large parts of it with settlements and military checkpoints. Gaza, on the other hand, was fully occupied by Israel until 2005. Then Israel pulled out, not out of goodwill, but more to relieve itself from the direct burden of governing 2 million Palestinians packed into a tiny strip of land. After the withdrawal, the idea was that the Palestinian Authority would take over Gaza. But that didn't go as planned. Hamas, the resistance movement, won the elections and eventually took full control of the strip in 2007. Since then, Gaza has been under siege, air, land, and sea, by Israel, and politically isolated from the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. So here's the big question. Could Gaza be considered a state on its own? Let's look at the basics. A state, by international law, needs four key things: a defined territory, a permanent population, a functioning government, and the capacity to enter relations with other states. Does Gaza have a defined territory? Yes, though it's tiny, only about 365 square kilometers. Does it have a permanent population? Absolutely. Over 2 million people live there, most of them refugees from 1948. Does it have a functioning government? Well, Hamas controls Gaza's internal affairs, from security to health to education, but it's not internationally recognized as a legitimate government. And there's a big rift between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, which complicates things even more. Can Gaza enter into relations with other states? Not really, because it's not recognized as a sovereign state, and any external diplomatic dealings are usually handled or blocked by Israel, Egypt, or the Palestinian Authority. Now let's get into the political motives. Does Hamas even want Gaza to be an independent state? Not really. Hamas's charter and statements consistently say that all of historic Palestine should be liberated, from the river to the sea. Does the Palestinian Authority want Gaza as a separate state? Absolutely not. That would mean accepting the permanent division of the Palestinian territories, which undermines their claim to statehood. Does Israel want Gaza to be its own state? Ironically, many in Israel do, because that would legally and politically cut Gaza off from the rest of Palestine, solving a big part of their demographic problem. But at the same time, Israel doesn't want a hostile Islamic government next door acting like a state. So Gaza exists in this political limbo. It's not independent, it's not part of a unified Palestinian state, and it's not under full Israeli control. It's a cage, sealed off, bombarded regularly, with a population trying to survive in one of the harshest conditions on Earth. So is Gaza a state? No, it's a symbol of resistance, of pain, of political failure, and international neglect. But it's not a sovereign state, not legally, not politically, not practically.